Who would have thought that breathing was such an important thing other than just keeping us alive? But in the stretch and release technique, one of the 3 phases of the stretch and release technique is learning about how to breathe correctly so that you can get your muscles and your brain to relax and free yourself of tight, stiff muscles. So today, I'm going to teach you how to breathe correctly as you're doing the stretch and release technique. And if you want to see these videos continue to show up in your inbox, please subscribe down below. Be sure to share with friends if you think this will help them. And as always comment. Let me know where you are, what you're doing, and how's this working for you. And if I need to, we'll change some things just to make it work better for you. But for now, stay tuned. Welcome back to the Muscle Repair Shop. My name is Butch Phelps. I'm a functional massage therapist, and today we're going to talk about breathing. Yes, I know we all breathe because we need to stay alive. One of the first things I heard years ago, I met a man who was a breathing coach, and I thought it was funny. I thought, a breathing coach? Well, we all breathe, right? When he started to explain to me about the importance of the breath and how so many people do not breathe correctly and how damaging it can be to your health overall, I was amazed. And so from that point on, I started really practicing my breath and practicing how I breathe. Most people that you meet will be mouth breathers. You'll see them breathing in and out from their mouth versus their nostrils, and that could be for many reasons. It could be a physical blockage. It could be just habit of how they breathe. And I've even heard a dentist the other day was talking about mouth breathers have more risk of infections in their dental work. So the breath itself becomes really important. Being a nose breather becomes real important. A lot of times people who snore at night, they sleep with their mouth open, so they're breathing through their mouth and not allowing the nostrils to be able to do their job as you breathe. And then that can lead to other health issues. But for this video today, we're going to talk about the importance of breathing as you are doing the stretching itself. And I'll do some simple stretches so I can demonstrate the breathing as well. The breath is like I said, a third of the stretch and release technique. And what I get from so many people is when I'll say to them, like if I'm doing this stretch here on them, I'll say breathe, and I'll go, or they'll go, or they just, okay? That's not what I'm talking about. I know a lot of times when you're lifting weights or you're moving something that's really heavy, you want to breathe in deep and push right out. That's not what we're doing here with the stretch and release technique. What we want to do is, as we say, for instance, this stretch here on the forearm, what we want to do is that as we start to stretch out here, right before we start to stretch, a light inhale, almost like a normal inhale, and then through the nostrils, breathe out. Not a labored breath, but as you breathe down. And then while you do that, you see this starts to relax the body. And as you go through different body parts and you're allowing the breath to just relax, has a very different feel than if I go, because see, now I'm laboring more as I'm breathing out. I want the body in the stretch and release technique to relax, period. You can practice this at home. Lay on your bed, lay on the floor. And as you're laying there, your body totally still, move a finger and just focus on the finger as you breathe out in a nice, gentle state, you see. And what we're doing here, 2 things actually. You're learning how to breathe at a much easier level, and at the same time, you're starting to learn how to quiet the mind. Now, that is a piece of that breathing technique, because if your mind is racing, you will shallow breathe. And what we want is a little deeper breath to where you feel it throughout your body. And so if you lay there, give yourself a few minutes to lay there and relax, and you start to move a toe or you start to move a finger, and you focus on that one finger. In fact, any of the knuckles that you want to move there to start to move, you see. And as you do that, now what happens is that you shut off those outside thoughts, and now you start to stay within your own body here. Now it's going to take a little bit of practice, because if you're the type of person who has a million thoughts running through your mind all the time, this is not as easy as it sounds. And so you can even do it when you do the tennis ball massage that I've showed you before, where you're leaning against a wall. Focus on feeling the spot that the ball is pressing in on. If you're laying on your back, focus on a body part, a finger, a toe, just the blinking of your eyes, or the breathing, your chest moving up and down. It's to give you that opportunity to really just focus and practice on quieting the mind. Now that doesn't mean you don't have any thoughts, because you're thinking about your finger, you're thinking about the tennis ball you see back here. But if you start thinking about what you should have said or should have done yesterday, or what you've got to do later today, now the mind starts to racing, and you'll start to have a more shallow breath. So when you're doing the stretch and release technique, if that breath is more shallow, you cannot relax the body and let the muscle tension go, because the brain is constantly busy thinking and puts you into the fight or flight response. And what we want is you to come out of the fight or flight response and really practice on just breathing gently but deeper, and allowing the body and the mind to relax so that the muscles can relax and you can take that tension out. You've heard me say many times that when you're stretching, we're not pulling muscles like taffy, we're releasing the tension in the muscle, you see. And that tension in the muscle comes from everything you think, feel, and do. So in this exercise and practicing your breathing, don't worry about the stretching at the moment while you're doing this. What I want you to focus on is being able to sit still or lay still, and be able to just focus on the breath and quiet the mind, and focus on a finger moving, or focus on a toe moving, or even focus on the chest up and down as you're breathing to quiet the mind. And as you do that, you'll come out of shallow breathing, you'll come out of mouth breathing and get more into nostril breathing. And as you do that, now you can relax the mind, which relaxes the body. As long as the mind is not relaxed, the body can never be relaxed. And so when I do the stretching with the stretch and release technique, I'm doing as if I'm in a meditative state as I'm doing the stretching. If you need to put some quiet Zen music on, or massage music on, or whatever, that's fine if that helps you. But you want to get into that state, get into that quiet state, and allow the body to relax and release. If you like what I've been talking about today, please make sure you subscribe down below so you can keep getting these videos, and ring the bell so you can get those alerts, and share this with friends if you think it will help. And again, always send comments, because if you have a comment or a question about how to do something, I want you to know how to do it. And I don't care how many times we have to talk about it, I want you to know how to do this, because I'm telling you, once you learn how to breathe correctly, it's going to make your life far more relaxing, far less anxiety ridden, and it'll just be a better life for you. But for now, see ya.